Cogger, Glamis, all as the weird women promised, and I fear thou place most foully forward. Yet it was said it should not stand in my posterity, that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon me Macbeth their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? Hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with an indissoluble tie forever knit.
Argue this afternoon.
I my lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. As far you right.
As far, my lord, as the fill of the hour twixt this and supper. If my horse go not the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour of twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, now confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange convention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal, we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. I eat the horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Ghost plans with you.
I, my lord, we wait upon the hour.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. The Templars men are present?
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears and Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valour to acting in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my right, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filled my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come, fate, into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now. Have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you at our last conference. Passed with you in probation, how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and to all things else, and to have a soul and to a notion praise say. Thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so. And went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bound you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. And the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shots, wanderers, and demi-wolves, are clapped all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed. Whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not of the worst rank of manhood, say it. And I'll put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you with the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tug of fortune, that I will set my life on any chance to mend it, or be rid of it.
Both of you know, Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will about you, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not draw, but wail his fall that I myself struck down. And thence it is that I, to your assistance, do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command of us.
Though our lives,
Your spirit shine through you. I will advise you within the hour at most where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time the moment on it. For it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require clearness. And with it, to leave no rubs or botches in the work. Flames, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
we are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded, Banquo. Thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.